Hello and welcome to my tutorial. Today we're going to talk about the GitHub repository which I published on GitHub. You will find it in the link below. It's a full stack OAuth system made with Laravel in the backend and Quasar as a Vue.js framework for frontend for the users. And yeah, basically we're going to talk about how it looks like, what kind of approach I used to build this template, and so you can get an insight how it works. All right. So let's talk about the content. As already mentioned, we're going to talk quickly about cloud application, the different kind of approaches, and then I'm going to show you the demo how to set up this repository. And as well, we're going to talk about the model itself, so you have a better overview how the different modules are connected to each other. Okay, so the first thing is, how does the software infrastructure looks like? So on one side we have the backend. I'm working with Laravel. Nowadays I think I would change to Node.js. It's more like runtime environment, server side, and it's very popular. But anyway, I'm not going to change it now, but maybe in the future. There are different kind of backend scripting languages, programming languages, whatsoever. Also in the front end, I decided for Vue. It's very simple. There are also kind of other frameworks, JavaScript frameworks such as Angular or the React. I always miss this name. Anyway, it's very simple front end, so we can decide what user can basically see in the app itself. For example, web app, or even though a mobile app. So, and then of course we're using database, PSQL we are using in a Docker container. You can also use like MySQL because we are working with Laravel, so the implementation, the migration of these databases is very general. So it works for Postgres and as well for MySQL. And then, like, we're not going to talk about the production because, yeah, in the end, normally you're going from your local environment, you're going to production, you will upload everything to your dedicated server or even though a cloud itself. All right, so we already talked about basically cloud applications. So this one is the approach I used for this template. So if you really are into splitting the backend and the front end, this template will give you a good overview. So you basically can see in the cloud environment, we have the backend, which will be Laravel, PHP, and of course the data. So we can process all data accordingly to what the user, the client, is sending to our server. And there are a lot of advantages. The biggest advantage is it's very scalable. So basically you can build up around your basic module, for example, your minimal valuable product, and then after a while you realize, okay, we want to implement this new feature and this feature, so you can prioritize your features and it's more scalable to go big. Start small to go big in a very efficient way. As well, we have a better user experience because the clickable, it's not reloading all the pages, so it's very good for web application as well for mobile application because it's not rendered server side, it's rendered by the client. So basically there is an initial load time to get the whole app done, and afterwards there's only like the data rendered in the backend, So the user is most of the time, he don't even realize something is loading, so he don't have to wait. So it's very efficient, very fast and quick. And as well, it's better approach for agile teams. For example, you have your team for your front end and you have your mate for the back end. Let's say front end, there are like 2-3 team member and one for the back end. Depends always on the complexity and on the kind of future you want to implement, but most time for the front end, like the client side user experience, it takes a lot more time to even build up a nice system. Exactly. So I hope this makes sense. This is my opinion. Maybe you have another opinion. Let me know. And yeah, so basically we are going now to talk about the repository itself, how it looks like. This one is more detailed. So what we have here, this is kind of like the overview, how all the different kind of modules and systems are working together. So we see on the client side, we have the views. These are kind of the pages, what the user is able to see. For example, the login, the registration, password reset, user profile, whatsoever, the dashboard. And then, of course, we have a little response handling implemented. So we always know, like, if there is an error response, for example, we are able to customize this error message by redirecting the client, the user, to a certain page, or removing the access whatsoever. And also the user access, this is the Pinia store provided by Pinia, where we can decide the whole access from the client side. This one is a nice feature because some pages the users are not allowed to see if they are not logged in. So basically we are kind of having the opportunity to play with the views by the user's access. Yes, so, and then we can think about, okay, every page, every view will send kind of a request, or he will get a response, whatever, which will be provided by the REST API, which will be proceeded by the Laravel framework. And we also have like the middleware, the Laravel passport. So basically what this one is doing is like securing that the user is only available to see its own data, like the data he has access to. And then basically we have the Docker container, PSQL, and email services. This is basically most time it's provided by your platform as a service host provider. And yeah, that's how it works. A very simple setup. There are more system interacting together, but for us as software developers, full stack developers, I think these are really the basic things we need to know. All right. So let's continue. All right, let's continue with the implementation of our template. It's Laravel Quasar, and what we are doing, I'm going to show you how to implement this repository by the HTTPS in our system. Yeah, so basically what we are doing is git clone, and then we have here, and now it's going to download all the files. I think it's gonna take a while. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you how the structure is of this whole repository. So what you can see here is the front end and back end. That is what I was talking about. So we are splitting the back end from the front end. So we have basically like two systems, two individual systems. We can design and edit and customize. The README is full of information about the infrastructure of the system, of the whole system, as well the folder structure. And here you can see in the environment what you need. These are all required environment variables like PHP and Node.js. You can use Docker for your database. It's not required, but you need a database, whatever. PowerShell, and also you see what kind of frameworks we are using. Yes. If you are using Docker, you can find the YAML file, the Docker Compose YAML file in this folder in the backend app database, and then you can Docker Compose up, write this in the console, and everything will be fine. And then you will see there will appearing a whole Docker container with the PG admin, user interface, and also Postgres database. Okay, good. I think so far we are already done. So what we are doing now, because I don't like this, so I'm going back to my folder. Let's go with this one. I'm not taking the Git. I'm going to delete the Git repository because I want to upload a new template to my GitHub account. So therefore we don't need the .git folder. No, okay, wait a second. Let's go back and then we're going to here, delete. All right. So this is exactly what we had. So what we are going to do now, as I already told you, we're going to the front end, open up the README because it's kind of a lot of informations. So we are going directing to the front end, yeah. Yes. And now we are doing npm install, huh? We want all the files in this folder here because, as you can see, we don't have the npm install. Meanwhile, we also need an end file, so we are doing an end file in here, .env. I think I put the envir exactly, and this is actually what we need. So we are taking app name, then creating, then we have the app API URL, which will be redirected to the localhost at port 8000, and this is where our server is running. Session name, we are saying, okay, it's local session. Good. So as we can see here, everything is installed, yeah. Here we have the source. All right, so, and now we are going back. Let's see how to go back. All right, yeah. So let's go to the backend, yeah. I think as far as I know, the front end is everything fine, but let me check in the README file. Exactly, and oh yeah, I think npm install setup package JSON. What did I mean? Oh yeah, here you can add your informations as well. Maybe you want to change something. Anyway, so good. We are here now in the backend, what we are doing now is we're going again to the README file. And then by this log, you can check your PHP Artisan version. I think it should be installed. If not, try to get your PHP Artisan commands ready. All right, so we're seeing, as you can see here, like the vendor is installed. Meanwhile, we are going like to pgadmin and let's set up our database, yeah? So don't worry if you try to use another database, it should be fine because we are using Laravel's migration package. So basically you can use, as I know, like MySQL or PSQL or whatever, just read the documentation. So I already set up like, for example, an event app, because I guess I'm using this for my next project. As you can see, it's empty database, yeah, so we have no schemas, we only have like the public, no tables inside, so everything is working fine now. Okay, good. So it's still going on, and next we need the env file, yeah? So we need to install the env file. And there we have the template. So as far as I know, we have the app URL. It's gonna be on the localhost port 9000, as well the asset URL is going to be on the port 8000, the port itself. What we need as well for OAuth, going to show you, we need some secret. We need the ID on the secret. And also as well set up the session, all the cookies, and database will be important. Let me check, what did I have? What was the password? Okay, so we have the event app, and the username, what was it? Postgres. Oh, we can check here. So we have the bit in here. Compose, that what I was talking about. So we have this one, and here is the Postgres password and the Postgres user. All right, so that's good. So this should be set. The port. Let me check the port. 4554. That's good. All right, perfect. Perfect. Localhost PSQL. That's good. All right, so everything, all packages are installed. Let's go back to the README. So what we are trying now is we are making the migrations. You can see the migrations here. If you want to adapt something, just get here and you can see like the schema from Laravel. All facets are imported here. And so basically, if you want to make some changes in the database structure, just keep in mind, you have your, as you already should know, if you're using a Laravel, you have your models, so keep this in mind, yeah? All right, so let's migrate, let's see if it works. Bam, perfect. Very glad it worked. Could be worse. So, let's go back to the README. Yeah, let's close all the others. Yes, and now we need to install password. Yeah, we need to force it because I think because we already set up kind of the password itself. So we need to get the key. the client secret, and this is one, and this one we need to copy paste. Let's see if it worked. Yes, so we have here the secret, yeah, and the ID is 1. So as we should see now in the database, if I refresh, we have all the migrations done here, and we have the old clients. I think somewhere here are the secrets. Yeah, I think it should be here, should be pushed here. So we have like this both secrets, which we can see here, I think. Yeah, anyway, so good. Let's make perfect, and then I prepare a little seeder, so we can already log in. All right, don't worry about these error messages, timeout messages, because it's Xdebug. Yeah, just don't worry about it. Because I use Xdebug because I like to debug directly in my environment. So, all right. Exactly. What we need to do next, because I'm going to show you. We need to storage links because we are saving from the front end, we are saving avatars in the back end, and this will be published in the storage in the app, and also then in the public folder, so people can have access through this avatar on the server side. And yeah, let me see. Let me show you how it works. So I think all right, let me check bindings. It should be done. Storage. Oh yeah, perfect. So now it's here. So we see here the storage has been built on the public domain, so everybody has kind of access. All right, so yeah, also don't forget to set up your mail driver. There are some like free third plugins you can use. I have my own server, so I'm going to put in later on in the env file my whole the whole environment variables, which you can see like the mail driver, SMTP, and then you can decide what kind of mail host you will have. All right, so that's good. Now, I think we are ready to go. I think we can now start our system. So therefore, we're going back. We're now in our web app. So now what I did is a little PowerShell script. So basically, this allows us starting the front-end server and the back-end server at the same time without going always to the two both folders. And so what you can see here now, we have on the port 8000, we have the PHP, like the server running. And in the front end, on the client side, on port 9000, we have our client user interface. All right, let's see. Okay, so we are going now here to the landing page, okay? So it looks like this, like really simple. I put here like a dark and bright mode. So if you like to click a little bit, that's fun. And what we are going now to try, I hope if everything was working fine, we should be able now. Let's check, like first we're going like to the users, huh? Users. Oh wait, maybe because, okay, wait. Should be, okay, it should be done already. Let's see, what's the problem? What is this? Migrate, PHP artisan. Ah. Let's go back and all right, what's wrong? Not null, token. Is it not null? All right. Let me check. So we have now here the storage. What we want to go to do is database migration. Oh, seeders. And here we have actually the token, huh? Should be, is it? Table. So we have the nullable. Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, I think I did here a little mistake. I need to update it. So we put here nullable. That's very unfortunate. So now, what do I need to do? I need to PHP. Let me check. All right, I don't know. I need to go to the documentation because normally I just do it very simple. Let's go. Yeah, all right. Normally you shouldn't do it, yeah? Because if there is some data, everything will be lost. But as we are just setting up everything, normally what you need to do is basically you need to update your table. But for this case, I need to make some changes and I don't want to now, so we leave it like this, very simple. Let's see it, delete. All right, create database. All right, let's start again. All right, and then to do this again, we need to get the client secret and put it in the env file. All right. good. And then we have an NVFA. Yeah, now we should be able to. All right, now it works. Let us check here, and I think there should be the user now. Perfect, and as well as admin inside the table. Exactly. So you are going to see now actually how it's working. So now we are sending to the backend and we get the response. Okay, everything is fine. As well, we get the first informations, and here you can see you can play around, you can change your username, you can update, you can upload the avatar, and you can change as well your password, transfer your account, basically changing the email. Instead, we are doing it a little bit more complex, a little bit more secure or compliant, let's say compliant, yeah. And as well, you can see delete your account. If you want to go, you can go to the backend. And yeah, that's basically it. So, perfect. So then I think everything is fine now. I hope you enjoyed a little bit. You could see also how it was working. And yeah, let me know what you are thinking about this repository. If you like it or if I can improve something, I'm always open-minded. Thank you very much. All right, let's dive into the repository itself, more like the architectural side and the structural side. So what we can see here, like in the front end, the client user interface, we have like the response handling and the user access. Because we need the user access, because there are certain views like pages which are not enabled for users which are not logged in. Because we are on the client side, it doesn't really matter if they can see these views or pages, because in the end, all will be saved by Laravel passport, so they don't have access without being authenticated. So don't worry about this. This is just like for being more user-friendly, and so users are restricted to see certain pages. And also we have the response handling. In this case, we are always watching, like we send some get, post, put, delete requests to the server, to the REST API. We define what data will be sent to the server, and after the whole process by the middleware and the backend, like the Laravel, will be proceed successfully, we will get a response. In the other case, if we have like an error because the user is not authenticated, or there was an error, programming error, we don't hope so, but anyway, so we can handle these responses in this certain error. So this is kind of how it looks like, the whole basic infrastructure. So here we have the front end and here we have the back end. So keep in mind, we are using Laravel Passport, so the whole authentication is already safe and secure by OAuth, provided by Laravel Passport. It's a barrier token, so all the time the barrier token will be set into the header, and we can always check if the user is actually authenticated or if he has to log in again. So now the much more fun part. What we can see here is like basically the infrastructure, like how all the components are working together. Maybe you don't see it very good in the video, so let's keep it like very simple. Like here we have the client. Here we have the server, the modules. We are using the MVC module, model view controller. And here we have basically the database, like the model. Here we have the view, but it's external, like for view, it's for the client. And then here we have the controllers, which are controlling and see all the information which are going, which will be sent by the clients to the server. Okay. And then we have like the different kind of pages. For example, we have the user login, we have create a new account, and also like email verification request. And as well, we have the email account verification. So the user needs to verify its email by the token who has been sent to its email. Yeah, I'm not going like to any like this kind of pages because it's basically obvious. What we need to check is always like what kind of data. For example, like if I'm creating a new account, we have a post to the server. You see here, like there's a server. We are requesting post like the name, and we want to send the email, and also we want, because GDPR, we need to agree the legal and compliance term and conditions. And after everything has been passed through, it will be proceeded by Laravel, like by the server itself, and the data will be set to the database. It depends always on what kind of must be proceed, but basically in this authentication, in this whole user management, access management, we are basically only working with the user. And as you can see here, we have the OAuth. It will be provided by Laravel Passport. So the tokens, after he was successfully logged in, they will be saved and stored in the OAuth. So Laravel, like the middleware, always know, okay, this user is authenticated or not. A little additional, we have an admin as well. Yeah, but I'm not going into too many details because it's going to be very, very long otherwise. Anyway, so let's say like here is like more the visitor page, and at this side here the user is already verified. Let's say like he logged in successfully, and then he will get the barrier token as response. So we have to set it on the local store on the client, as well we have to set it in the HTTP header. So always when a request is sent to the server from here to here, our provider knows, okay, it's this user and he has this and this rights. Yeah, he has this and this access. So after the user is logged in, he is basically going to the out controller where you can very customize, you are able to customize it, what kind of data will be sent back. Of course, it's just a simple template. So basically what we're getting back is a simple user credential as an object. We put it in the dashboard. More specifically, we put it in the store, in the local storage, on the client storage. So he's basically able to see his name, his email, and so ever. His avatar as well. And then here we have the user profile. The little feature I made here is like the transfer account. I'm pretty proud of it because it could be like easy. I just can put in like the email, update email, but I thought like, okay, let's transfer the account. So the new user has to register again. He has to verify its email again and do the whole process as same as creating the account, except that the account is already created. So yeah, so basically what we are doing, like after transferring the account, we are removing the session and also removing the token, so the user is not able to log in automatically again. And then we send the email, we send the token to the provided new email, and the new user will receive the email and he will be redirected to the transfer account, where the token will be checked, and as soon everything will be succeeded, he is able to log in to the already existing account, but with the new email. We did here like everything we're doing automatically. As soon as there is the barrier token set in the header, he will be automatically like redirected to the authorization, to the dashboard, as long he is valid. It's a valid user. All right, cool. So as we talk here, like in the beginning, we have like the global variables on the client side. So I put this also in here because it's important that you can see like we have like the response handling from the client. So all the time we get a server response and we have a server error. We are checking like if it's a 401. So we just remove the session, the client session. So he has to log in again. And the barrier token is still set in the local storage. So the login session, the login is checking for if a barrier token is set. And if it's set, it will automatically log in again. Worst case, it's not set. So we are basically saying, okay, so the barrier token is invalid, is not valid anymore. So we remove it. Like, let's say, for example, it will be like the same as the 401 and the email not verified. So we want to remove the token, and as well we want to remove the session. So the user basically needs to log in again manually. I hope this makes sense. Otherwise, you will see in the testing, in the prototype. Yeah, cool. So let's go to client access management. So because we are on the client side, for us it's important that user has like the view, the pages are changing accordingly to the user's access. For example, if the user is not logged in, he has another view, like for example the left navbar, for example, or like the header, let's say the profile, he can see his profile, whatever. So we must like to make it a global variable, so we can control what he is viewing or not by the local session, who is set by login, and the responses he received by the server. For example, we can see here if he is getting the out is valid, is verified. He get the user credentials, so we set the session and add the user credential in the client store, and everything will be managed in here. So it's basically a global variable to manage the views and the access of each user's web client or mobile client whatsoever. All right, so yeah, that's basically it, how it looks like. Just keep in mind, we are basically separating the front end and the back end. That's why we are using the front end. Takes a lot more time to program it correctly, let's say like this. But I think with this global variables, we have like basically everything we need, also like for the future system. So you basically just can edit this both modules. You will see in in the repository where these modules will be. I will show you. Yeah, that's it. So I hope everything was clear, and we are going to the next.